Yo, what's happening, people? Welcome to Saeed TV and welcome to another live stream. It's a new show every Wednesdays. I thought I'd bring something different to the table. It will be eventually a tactical show, but I thought because there's no tactics to report on, thankfully, thank God we don't have any football to delve in because of the season we had. I thought we'll ease in. We talk about Ollie's new contract talks. I'm with two guys in the building. Onto my right, I believe, is United Aiden. Big up to you, bro. What are you saying?
Yeah, man, I'm good. G. Happy to come on, discuss some stuff, man. I'm good.
Yeah, man. Big up to you, bro. And also Adam Man Red, you know what I mean? The last time I had you on, I think we were discussing Ollie first, Ollie out.
Yes, exactly.
Nothing's changed. But how are you, though? Everything all good?
I'm good. Thank you, mate. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. It's all good, man. It's a pleasure. Hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are well in the comments as well. Make sure before you even do anything, like the video, subscribe to Saeed TV. And yeah, man, I'm going to start with you, United Aiden. Ollie, step 4, contract talks. Before, in all honesty, are you surprised because of the whole kind of ethos about what we're seeing, about people saying about these special quotes about, believing the process? He's changing the culture of the football club. He's instilling things in the football club. Are you surprised, or are you kind of like worried now that next season again he'll fail to deliver? And it's another season where it's another no trophy, isn't it? In reality,
yeah. I'm not surprised from the Glazers' ends. Like, I would be disappointed if he gets it. If he was going to go on next season and win like a Premier League or something, I obviously would be disappointed. But at the point right now, I would be disappointed if he gets a new contract. But I'm not surprised because you got to think for the Glazers, like all they want is the maintenance of economic gain. That's all they want. They just want consistent economic gain. They don't want anything that's going to pressurize them. And if you give Ole a new contract, the thing is about Ole is, he's a club legend. People don't really want to criticize him. He sits around top 4, doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. So expectations don't really go too far either way. So he basically makes the club money. He fulfills their sort of like ethos that they're trying to set out, which I think is more of a branding thing than anything to do with what they want to instill in the club. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised for that reason. But I don't know. I don't want to give him a new contract, but because I think you got 1 year left, it's the perfect 1 more year to get trophies. If he doesn't get them, you can go. If he does, new contract. But yeah, I'm not surprised. Bro.
No, absolutely not. Adam, what do you reckon, bro? Like, can you see any logic behind this? Even if we were to say, we bring out our kind of feeling of Ollie's not the right man for ourselves. Is there any logic behind this? Can you see any logic?
Yeah, I think Aiden broke down the logic pretty well because it suits the Glazers, and quite a big portion of the fan base is quite happy with this. This is the thing that is quite uncomfortable for me because, as Aiden said, I wouldn't give him a contract. You know that I really wouldn't. But it looks as though people are happy. They, as Aiden said, with the squad we have and the quality of players we have, he sits around top 4, maybe in a weak season like last time. He finishes second, so he sort of does the job. But then again, it gives that false sentiment, that false feeling of progress, of improvement. But then again, if you sit down and you break it down, did we really improve? Are we really moving forward? Nah, not really. So the logic, from my personal standpoint, I don't see any logic to it, but I see it. I see it from what Aiden just break down because I think he's absolutely spot on at that.
You know what? For me, though, the worry is for me is that a lot of people are forgetting what club we are. We're Man United Football Club. I remember everyone keeps always saying to me, we got a comment here saying, got Sheikh Adam with all the books behind him. Yo, we need all the logic we can, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could do with a Sheikh right now. I tell you that, man. Yo, love to everybody tuning in right now. I think for me, though, everyone's forgetting what club we were. And I think that's a bit worrying for me because a lot of people are saying, well, Alex Ferguson did this in his 4th year. Klopp did this in his 4th year. Well, if you play by that logic, what do you call it? If you play by that logic, how are we going further forward then? When you play that by that logic, are you thinking like that, Aiden? How is it then? Are we supposed to win the league then this year? Are we not meant to win the league this year then? Because you've got it by 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. Surely you have to to show progress. You need to win the league, surely.
Well, the thing I find a bit ironic is I see a lot of a lot of people will say you can't compare Man United in terms of. A lot of people say when we're not winning trophies, to say you can't compare Man United to any other club in terms of the linear progression of the manager or whatever project they're doing. You can't compare them because they're different. Man United's a completely different scenario. But then they'll also use that point to argue for Ole. So they'll say you can't compare Ole to other managers or Man United to other systems because of the fact our club's a bit messed up. But then if I ask them why has Ole not made any progress, they'll say Klopp had 4 years and he won the league. So it's a bit like a conundrum. You can't, on the one hand, say that you can't compare to other clubs, but then use Liverpool as an example of a club that you want to compare to. Like, we either are similar or we're not. I don't think we're similar at all. But what I do know is 4 years without a trophy, that's not calm. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not calm. And I don't think it's any more complicated than that. Like, 3 years really isn't acceptable either. But yeah, I just think the Klopp argument's a bit nonsensical because like you can't, either you can compare him to Liverpool or you can't. You know, and the same people are arguing two different things. So I don't know, like, it doesn't really make sense on my end. But
that's a good point, Aidan, because the thing is, when you argue with someone who's backing Ole and backing the progress and all that stuff, you hit them with, for example, you hit them with tactical football, understanding like what is the football we play, the mistakes the man does when it comes to coaching the team, etc., etc. He does so many mistakes. It's actually stunning. And some very, very poor tactical understanding from all the entire coaching staff, actually. And then they hit you with the stats, with the finish second, finish third, progress, semi-final, then final. And then when you talk about something that is not tangible, like style of play, that you can see it, but you not put a number on it, they dismiss it by coming with you with league position and progress. But then again, they talk to you themselves about stuff that is not tangible, like the culture, the rebuild, the process. And you know, just pick a side. Pick a side, because if you want to talk about real stuff, well, we'll have it. Because the thing is, myself, yourself, and Aidan, we do not want to win the arguments. We want to Manchester United to win. It's not about winning. It's not about winning. Because if I'm proved wrong about Ole and then he goes to play the most expansive, beautiful, total football and we smash the league, well, mate, I'll just admit my mistake and I say, you know what? I'm gassed at this point because I just want the club. I just want what's best for the club. But then again, you need to argue with people who go with the same logic as you. And at the moment, we don't have that. You go in a straight direction. You think like that. And they just, you know, the thinking is not quite straight. It just goes a bit to the side. And it's quite frustrating.
There's not, and I feel like for me, a lot of people say to me, I'm a flip-flop. I've never flip-flopped in the 2 years I've said about Ole. You know, I remember when I was first Ole out, and I'm still stuck by it for me. And for me, the worst thing about it is nothing's ever changed, Aidan. You know, like... Yeah. I know position-wise we've changed, but I think that's been down to a number of factors, you know what I mean? And will people engage in that conversation? I'm not sure. We've got there, but again, you need something to show for it, you know? The same way we're bashing Arsenal for finishing fourth every year without a trophy. Well, hey-ho, we're top four without a trophy. You know what I mean? And I know Arsenal, they got beat by Hibernian yesterday, but again, they've won more trophies in the last, 4 years than they've done than Man United have won. And I know it's an FA Cup, but you know, end of the day, it's like we can say we're better than Arsenal, but in reality, we're in the same position.
No, exactly the same. And the thing is, like you said earlier, Saeed, when you say quite often, this is Manchester United Football Club, and people like it's like you're something. It is such an important statement. People don't realize we are Manchester United Football Club. It's just not. It's not just something. It's just something big. We are Manchester United, so we need to keep the level of expectations at a certain point. We should not ever drop below that standard. So keep saying this is Manchester United Football Club. People need to remind all the time.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And next season is going to be a crucial season, man, Aidan. A lot of ins and outs, you know what I mean? There's an expectation now with another big money move now for Sancho. I think he will improve our squad. He will improve us. But again, you know, can Ole adapt him to the Premier League in terms of everything that works at Bundesliga might not work at United? And there will be obstacles. Yeah. You know, can he coach him to that level? You know, I think they're on a down of the lads, you know what I mean? Especially Sancho, he's posted something on Instagram, big up to him. But there are going to be obstacles again this season. And it's like, for me, a contract. See, I don't know a football club that would give a man a contract that, for me, in them 3 years, A, hasn't won a trophy. B, for me, hasn't got a distinctive style of play where it's got us to a certain level. And B and C, you know, for me, he's not a winner. So again, would a football club like Bayern Munich do give a contract to a manager who's not won a trophy so far. Would a big club like Chelsea, even Chelsea, have shown it that you can sack managers and still win trophies. So again, you know what I mean? It just begs the question, you know, maybe I need to stop saying Man United a big club now, because at the end of the day, we're not anymore, because we're accepting this.
Yeah, no, gee, like you're spot on, man. But I don't know. I think, you know, the problem's obviously top down, and it 100% is. And I know the Glazers are the biggest problem, but I do think there's a slight like edge of indoctrination to the fan base, because, you know, I do understand. Like, I think the problem with football debates is a lot of the time, because they're so emotional, because like you say, Said, football's the most important of the not important things. It's very emotionally wrapped up. So when people are emotional, they tend to go with absolutes. Like it's X or Y, it's black or white. It's, you know, it's binary opposites. Obviously, I'm not saying that like Ole hasn't done stuff. I'm not saying that Ole hasn't made progress, but the indoctrination of our fan base to just lower our standards has been ridiculous, and it's been quite low key. Like people don't actually realize it. Like if you look at the stuff we praise our players for, like even on the shirt, like round here on the collar, it talks about like passion, like youth pride and stuff. That is getting intrinsic value now, when the intrinsic value at Man United used to be the trophies. And I know that youth has always been important, and I know that the culture at the club is always important, but that culture at the club is always derived from a winning mentality. If you win, you're respected. If you're respected, you're loved. If you're loved, you're revered. And that's Man United. That is literally Man United for me. And you can't do it opposite. You can't be loved, then respected, then win. It goes the opposite way. And that's what Man United fans need to understand. You're not going to be respected. You're not going to be loved by having this culture that comes from winning, and then the rest trickles down. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Barcelona
that's why Chelsea have tolerated it. Chelsea
that's the thing, though, G.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and that's what I'm saying. Like I say, if you want to get this culture where everyone reveres us, you win, then you're respected, then you're loved, then you're revered. And that is the pathway we need to take. And we're trying to do it backwards. It doesn't work. You know those guys that try to buy their way into goals post? It doesn't work, does it? You've got to get people to respect you, bro. You've got to get people to love you for that. You know what I'm saying? You've got to do that, be this fake love to people, you know, well, girls, other friends. It doesn't work. You've got to do the groundwork. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's a bit fugazi at the moment, and it's just a bit iffy, man. I don't really rate it, but
yeah, exactly. And as you said, the decline of the lowering of the expectations has been very, very sneaky and low key, because the thing is, we are moving further and further away from Sir Alex Ferguson. So David Moyes' first season, he didn't have we were Champions League. We won the Premier League the season before, so the expectations were very high. So David Moyes didn't get no time, because Sir Alex was just there. He just left. And then Louis van Gaal, he won the FA Cup. He got fourth place and then fifth on goal difference or whatever. But then again, we were so close to Sir Alex Ferguson that the expectations were still quite high. And then with Jose, we won trophies. And now it's been like 8 years since Sir Alex. So now we are moving slowly and surely, lowering the expectations every season. And that's the thing with Jose Mourinho. I couldn't stand Jose Mourinho, but he won trophies. I cannot take away from him what he did. But I cannot stand the man on a personal level, for example. And the thing is, Jose Mourinho, we know what he is and we know what he does. And so much of the things Jose did and said, he took away so much away from what makes Manchester United Manchester United, that the thing is, we went to the other extreme with
that's true.
So we have Jose who does not play the youth, who does not play attacking football or whatever. But then you have Ole, who he's so the people say he plays the youth, he really doesn't actually. But the thing is, Jose he took away so much from what makes us Manchester United that it went the other way with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And now we have extremes are not good either way. So it's just not a good thing at all. And
it's a predicament, man. Jay Social's here. Big up to Jay Social. He goes, big up Saeed for bringing my man from NTL back on the show. Proper support. Yeah, man. Come on, bro. You know that, man, already, man. Love for everyone. Make sure everyone, you like the video, people, and subscribe if you are new. You know what I mean? Again, you know, next season, you know what I mean? I don't know what people are thinking next season, but, you know, if I was to ask you guys, what do you think your outlook is for next season? You know, if you're looking at if we can get Varane over the line, you know, I mean, I don't know why CDM, I think Camavinga has just gone down a little bit. There's no CDM talk. You know, I mean, we might still have that McFred in the middle. You know, I mean, I'll go with you, start with you first, Adam. What's the expectation for next season? Because, you know, we looked at we're second, you know.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the same next season with Liverpool back on with Van Dijk? They might go strong. Chelsea will always be there. You know, Tottenham, they might have a bounce. You never know, you know. It's difficult, man.
I don't really have expectations for next season just based on everything we just said. I don't trust Ole and his coaching staff. I really don't. Another thing, let's suppose we bring in Varane. The thing is, the goals we concede are not because of the defenders not being actually
true.
Times, because we cannot organize and set up a defense, which is proper embarrassing. We have a manager that makes a substitution before a corner. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but this is the sort of stuff that Allardyce doesn't do and that Pulis doesn't do, because the very basics, the fundamentals, he doesn't have them. That's the thing. It's not about playing good football or this or that. You need to have a basic. For example, Pep Guardiola is a great tactician. Antonio Conte is a great tactician. Marco Rose is a great tactician. But the basis is there. The fundamentals is there. When you are trying to defend a lead, for example, and you are 1-0 up, when you sub someone and you're bringing a defender, you don't bring it in defense, you're bringing in midfield. Because the thing is, you want to stuff the midfield so that the ball doesn't come in the first place. You don't switch from a back four to a back five when trying to defend the lead, because the logic being, when you have three defenders, you're more compact at the back. It doesn't make sense at all, because when you have a back four, you have only one gap between the two center halves. When you switch to a back three, you have two gaps. So when you have an entire team who's been defending for the last 40 minutes and a team that's played with a back line of 4 players for the entire game, you disrupt them from switching the configuration of the back line. So this is the stuff. That's why I'm saying I don't have really expectations, because the very fundamentals of coaching are not there within our club. So even if I rate Varane, I think he's a good defender, I really do. But the thing is he going to improve us that much? Is he? I think he's just going to be a good defender, but then again, we will still concede the same silly goals. We'll still have Wan-Bissaka not doing what he's supposed to do on the. You know what I mean, and if that's not coached, well, you can bring in Varane, you can bring in Ramos and Maguire and Koulibaly and playing them all at the same time, and still it wouldn't change. It wouldn't change much, I guess. Really wouldn't change much. So, and as you said, Liverpool, Chelsea. I don't expect us to finish second, mate. I really don't. And the thing is, now we signed Sancho. Sancho is going to play on the right, I suppose. And now people say Rashford will play on the left, whatever, because for some reason that I don't really grasp, that left spot is his, it isn't in my book. But then again, and you have Pogba if he stays. So you have Pogba in midfield with Bruno. Bruno is undroppable. So there's only one place left in that midfield. However you play it, is it whether that's a 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, there's only one place left, or he benches Pogba. So then I suppose we will drop a lot of points in the beginning of the season, because he will try to find the right way of putting all of those players together. So, all right, anyway.
It's true. Anas is here saying, what do you guys think of the new set-piece coach? Again, mate, you know what I mean? I don't know how much he can have an impact, you know what I mean? Again, you know, some of the things he might do, you know what I mean? Will it pay off? I'm not sure. Again, you know, people are saying he's done big things with other clubs. United, Aiden, what do you make of that new set-piece coach? Will that improve United? Only time will tell. But again, you know, when you've got certain situations happening, when you've got people not marking this person and whatnot, there's the basic principles are not there, really, are they? You know?
Yeah, no, they're not. The footballing fundamentals aren't really there for a lot of the team. You know, it's basic stuff like, I think our whole team is discombobulated. Like, if you look at the pivot, like, we don't have low center of gravity players that are good on the ball. That's the main thing a pivot player needs. Like, if you watch Scholes, he was the master at it. He used to pivot, low center of gravity, good on the ball, could switch the ball out. We don't have stuff like that. The set piece coach, like we said, the Wan-Bissaka thing, these things are things you can fix. Like, why is Wan-Bissaka not covering the back post? The set piece coach might come in, but I still think that there's going to be a lot of like basic issues that we don't have. And I don't think we should need to bring a coach in for stuff like the back post. I don't think we should need to bring a coach in for stuff like zonal marking. I think you should just be able to look at it as a casual fan and know it doesn't work. Like, I don't need to have a degree, 3 badges in coaching to know that zonal marking is crap. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to. I've seen it for like 2 seasons. So I hope it works. I hope it helps us, yeah. But it's like, until I see like a practical application, I don't know, because we keep on saying we've got X coach. Like, I swear, like last year we said we had like 4 or 5 different coaches in. Like, pretty sure like Christmas time it wasn't really much of a difference. So I don't know. If it translates well, then good. But I don't know.
And the expectations next season? And your expectations, what are you thinking?
I don't know. I think it's very sign independent. Like, if we get Varane, I'll be more lenient on playing Pogba and Fred, because right now I don't trust them and Lindelof and Maguire. I'll be more lenient at playing that. And I think if we could play that our first phase build up, we'd better. I think the whole attacking fluidity of our game will get better. So I think it's very dependent on Varane. If we get Varane, I'm going to put it on points. I'm going to say we need at least like 78, 79. We need about 80 points, I think. We need that because we're on 74 points, man. Like we're literally going to need about a 92, 93 points to win the league. That 20-point increase.
How much did we get last season?
We got 74 last season.
74, man.
And the league has been won. I think it's like 198, 93, 95, and there's 86. It's like the lowest points total since like 2011.
For example, Liverpool finished with 97 and didn't win the league.
Yeah, and they didn't win the league. So I don't know. I think you've got to consider. Yes, look at the fact we finished third, but do you seriously think we're going to improve by 20 points from one player? I don't know. So
yeah.
I think a manager could though. A manager could, you know what I mean? A manager could when in reality a game against Crystal Palace, you sat back and you kind of, didn't want to go for the juggernaut and go for the victory. There were certain games where West Brom, we sat back and we never ever really attacked them, Adam. There's certain positions that you think a manager could maybe grasp one change, one tactical switch, something, Adam, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
but when you've got a manager who believes in one way and can't really change it, as you see in the Real Madrid final, a manager in Unai Emery changed it. We waited until when to change it? And that's the problem.
Absolutely, mate. And that's the thing. He's watching the game and he doesn't really know how to impact it. And that's an example I gave quite a few times, but I'll say it again. But Oli reminds me of that kid in science class that's trying to build a bridge with wooden sticks. And somehow he does, and somehow it holds the weight. But if it cracks and the weight is too much, he doesn't really know how it happened or what can he do to change it. So he gets to win the formation, he puts the players there, but now, okay, the plan A is not working. So do you expect him to really know what to do?
That's the thing, man. And then you go into like December. You go into December time, and then you're thinking, right, you're out the Premier League race. You probably crashed out the Champions League, and then you're like, bloody hell, how are you going to get a manager in now? Who's going to want to come in this position? That's my problem, and that's my issue. And I thought, I keep having these conversations with people who support Oli, and they say, what did they do? But you've got to wait maybe another season. I'm like, the problem is, what's the greater reward? Waiting another season or sacking a manager now and preparing in the summer and then going from there? What would be the greater reward? I think sacking it right now, because I look at it, I think these players need new ideas. I really do. I think these players need new ideas, and they need a new coach, need a new cycle, And I just think for me, we've got to move on with the times, and that's my problem, man. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is just a story. It's a fairy tale that I don't believe in, and I think a lot of people are still believing for that magical story ending. I don't know, man. I just think a lot of people are waiting for that magical story to finish on. A club legend has done it the right way. Like, it won't. Sometimes it don't happen. You only got to look at. Sorry, go on.
No, it won't happen. I was just going. It's not going to happen. And the thing is, because people are in love with the idea of Sir Alex Ferguson, but the thing we have to bear in mind is Sir Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, within their own respective eras, they were exceptions. You don't have a manager sitting at a top club for 20 plus years. Even in the 90s, you have Arsene Wenger and you have Sir Alex Ferguson, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And if you look at, people will blame the Glazers for everything, and they are the biggest problem because they are the ones making decisions and stuff. But they will blame the Glazers. But then again, the big clubs with good structures, and I think we talked about it once, Aiden, on United Source with Dominic. I think the big clubs, for example, if we look at Bayern Munich, who are 50% owned by the fans, and they have people at board, football people at board level, and they never keep a manager for more than 3 or 4 years. And that's a really well-run club. Juventus, who's been successful in the last 20 years, they never keep a manager for more than 4 or 5 years max. And they already sacked Pirlo. If you look at Manchester City, they don't spend too much. Pep is the one they kept for the longest time in recent history, and he's been very successful with them. If you take a look at all the big clubs, Barcelona, before the state they were in, they sacked managers after winning the treble. You need to keep moving on, because you need to keep the players focused. And you need to keep moving on with times. So this idea that that's my question. The next manager that comes at Manchester United, how long do you expect him to stay? I expect him to stay 4 or 5 years max. And that's even if he's my first pick manager.
I know. And that's the worry, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's one of the things where, you know, are Man United able to change quickly? And I think a lot of people they get worried about change. You know, they think, oh, are they gonna run by the principles of what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the DNA of the football club is run by? Are they gonna run by that, or is it gonna be a man who's gonna come in like Jose Mourinho and do things that are, you know, that we're not gonna like? And I think a lot of people are comfortable in that Alex Ferguson mode. They keep seeing Alex Ferguson. I think we've got to move on now from that. You know, I think
we've got
the legacy. The legacy, you know, Alex Ferguson was special. I think it was unique. And I think for me, a lot of people just have to move on and say, you know what, we're here to win. We might have to be a Chelsea and sack managers. And ultimately, you know what I mean, pay that price of, you know what, I fell in love with that management. You know what, it's got to go now. Sometimes you've got to do that. And that's my worry, Aidan, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's going through that moments. You know, Ollie said here, Ollie will prove you wrong. Listen, about time, innit, mate?
It's been 4 years, G. It's been 4 years.
It's been about 3 years, man. About time. Prove me wrong, man. I'm not bothered, man. Prove me wrong, man.
Yeah, but I was going to say, bro,
here.
like...
Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say this, like you were saying, I'll use an analogy. It's like, you know when everyone was doing the same thing with the Avengers and stuff, and people were just getting fed up of what they were seeing. We saw Superman, we saw Batman, we saw Spider-Man, and people were like... And Marvel, remember when they announced Guardians of the Galaxy and everyone was like, bro, what are we doing with that? They came out with it, they made it a hit, and everyone loves it. They made something new, they made something fresh. They could have stayed with the old, like Spider-Man, all the big heroes, but they didn't. They said, we're going to make something fresh and we're going to make it new.
Yeah.
That was good at one point, but it's not anymore, bruv. People are sick of Iron Man and that.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. And obviously, Adam, the Varane news, you know what I mean? I don't know what's going on now. I think they're still waiting on it, man. You know me, I just feel like he's just trying to mess us around, man. And I'm thinking like sooner or later, Real Madrid will pay up. And that's all he's waiting for. He's waiting for them to pay up, Adam. And he's waiting for them to say, you know what, mate? I want my money. I want to be top dog. I want to feel like top dog. I want Ramos's positions. I want to fill his role. And people will say he wants to
something different or something like that.
Something different. But again, his agent can come up with them words and say, you know what? Something different. You know?
Yeah. The thing is, maybe there's some truth in it. But I think you're right to some extent. I believe you're right, because he'll wait to see what Real Madrid are going to do. And I think it's a situation in which he's like, he wants Real Madrid to show him that they want him. So he wants them to, put the money in and say, look, we want you to stay, we want you to stay, we want you to be the main man and that. And maybe they won't do it. So that's why he's exploring options and that. But I'm not really too concerned. I think there's something serious about Varane, or at least something. But maybe he'll stay. I think it makes sense what you just said.
Yeah, true, man. Ada, what you reckon, man? Ramos. Ramos said it to us before. Varane. You reckon he'll come to Man United? Can Man United get that over and done with? Something just tells me, man, that he's just trying to use this for another deal, man. Like Sergio Ramos. I thought he was going to come. Let's see, slapped us in the face, signed a new contract.
Yeah. Do you know what? Yeah, I usually I'm a bit miffed with these stuff. Like, I'm just not really interested in it like that. But I think we'll pat Varane, and I say that because I think the journalists that are coming out, like Laurie Whitwell, like Fabrizio Romano, they're all saying that we're interested in him and it's concrete. They're not saying it's some like sort of waffle interest that's sort of like designed to create clicks off analytics. Like, I do think we're in for him. I think we'll pay the money. I think we will, but I don't see what else really can mess it up for us. Like, we've got the money, we've got the wages. He wants to leave. All the journalists are saying that he wants to leave. So there's nothing to mess up. But what I don't want is this to be drawn out until the end of August. Yeah. And us not to sign another player, because I'd almost rather just get to it. We need 2 or 3 bodies in the door. We need something fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, signings aren't just there to improve the quality. They're there for something fresh. You know, like, we need something fresh. We need something new. It's just nice to see a different player on the pitch. So yeah, I think we'll get him. But I reserved. But it pissed me off if we left it for until end of August. It doesn't need to, bro.
Well,
do you know what I'm saying?
He comes back from. I reckon he'll probably come back from his leave maybe early next week, late next week. We'll see on that one. But again, he has to have some. He'll have to go back to pre-season training. He'll have to see Ancelotti come out for a meeting then, and then Adam, we can say, right, here's a concrete evidence that he is going to leave. But again, you know what I mean? How we couldn't trust this club with Sancho, and that took a whole year, 2 years. Yeah, this one here, you know what I mean? It's another one. I'm just looking at thinking, Just get the deal over and done with. Like, don't give Real Madrid time. Put it on their offer. Right, Real Madrid, here's the money and give us Varane, mate.
Yes,
but
exactly.
Real Madrid, I just can't fathom Real Madrid losing Ramos and Varane in one season. That's what's probably making me feel like, man, it might not happen. But boy, if they lose them two, I think they're finished, mate.
The thing is,
have you seen Barcelona's new team? It looks awful. Have you seen their suggested lineup for this season? Barcelona, Real Madrid, it's so bad, bro.
No, exactly. That's why, if they were still as good as they were like 5 years ago, maybe we would have lost Pogba quite some time, I believe. It's one of the reasons that they are not an attractive destination at the moment. You have Florentino Perez doing absolute madness over there, and Barcelona are just bankrupt or whatever. So, and the thing is, with Varane is, I rate him. I like him as a player. And the thing is, with defenders that are that good, the manager is not. It's not really. It doesn't really depend on the style of football. So you can bring in whoever as next manager, and it will still rate Varane, for example. But if you're bringing a player in central midfielder, for example, everybody wants a CDM. But there are so many types of CDMs that it really depends on which manager you're going to bring in first. A half like Varane, you can bring in a manager like Maurizio Sarri, you can bring in a manager like Antonio Conte, you can bring in a manager like Jose Mourinho, all of different styles, and still Varane is a good option to have. So that's why I get it done as early as possible.
But what worries me though is there's no CDM in there. Like, that's the worry for me, and that's why I'm like, whoa, what's happening here? Camavinga's talk is going. I think Pogba, it looks like he's hotting up right now in terms of, like he's excited by the idea. Nobody knows what's going to go on. Again, you bring in Varane, you lose Pogba. Again, it's that feeling of United can never go push further forward. It's as if there's always one thing that holds us back. And that's the problem. Do we sell Pogba? Do we keep him? Do you keep an unhappy Pogba who doesn't really want to be here, but again, he doesn't want to kind of disrupt Ollie because he's a person that he respects and he was a youth coach for a while. So again, it's a lot of things where, personally, I would be happy if Varane came, but then it's like you lose Pogba. It's like, you got that McFred debut pivot, Varane can only do so much, Varane can only do so much in Aiden, bro. He can only do so much.
Gee, it's true. Like, I just don't want to see that McFred thing. I just want to see something fresh. Like, I'm getting so bored of watching us. That's the worst thing, man. And I always say that, like, what the players are seeing on the pitch isn't too dissimilar to what we're feeling. If we feel bored by the football, I'm sure the players feel bored by the football. You know what I mean? I'm sure they do. And like, the thing about Varane is that, as you said, like, it's not really a system thing. He'll just come in and fit in. But the main thing I want to happen, if we bring in Varane and he plays McFred, that will differently annoy me, because you don't need to do that. I think with Varane and Maguire, you can play that Frogba pivot, Fred and Pogba, like the mad pivot name. But I think you can play it. Because he's got solidity at the back. So if we can get Varane in and bin that McFred, bro, we will become a million years better, bro. We will become a million years better. Like, genuinely, even if Pogba's in DM, I just don't. First phase, flipping McFred, it kills the entire team, like, differently. It kills it, bro. It kills it, man. I hate it so much, bro.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? Someone say they're Frogba. I'm telling you, man,
Varane won't look as good as he is. That's the thing. If you keep McTominay in midfield, Fred, everybody looks poor. And I quite rate.
Yeah, absolutely.
I quite rate Fred.
Yeah, Fred's.
It doesn't fit. It doesn't match. It's not working, is it?
No, it doesn't. And that's the whole premise for Man United is, you can go and do this, but again, it's the one that's in the midfield. You know what I mean? Can we get the midfield balance right? Anna says here, why is anyone going in for Basuma? I don't know why. Listen, for me, Camavinga is a signing that excites me. But is he a player that I know is going to go into that team? No. Is he of any use then? No. So why don't we go for a player who can fit into that, what we're trying to do right now, and go in there quickly and outperform the one of the two, or whoever is in that midfield role, and then we've got someone who's stable, and then you can maybe give the license to Pogba to move further forward, and you can let obviously Bruno then is kind of do what you can, because you've got that protection in the back, So again, you know what I mean? It's mad for me. I don't know why we're not doing it. It's as if Man United are trying to sort out position. When you look at the centre back position, which one would you say is a priority, centre back or CDM? If you were to give just one answer, CDM or centre back? If there was only one, you can only sign one. Which one would you go for? Yeah, DM, exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And I don't understand why this club is like straight on. I get Varane if he's available, go and get him. And I want a centre back. But it's almost as if Man United are just dismissing this whole need for a DM. You know, everyone's saying it here, DM. Everyone's saying it, DM.
That shows you the coaching staff don't really have a clue.
Yeah, that's where it must come from, the coaching staff. Because the thing is, like,
it shows you because the thing is,
it must. I don't know where it comes, like, because it's like, it's not even like we're not linked. We're just not linked to anyone. The only DM we've been linked to is Rice, and the only reason why we're linked to Rice is because he's English and Premier League proven.
Yeah,
and the reason why that is because if we were getting linked to 6 DMs, I'd say yeah. But Rice, the only reason why we're getting linked to him is because he's an English don. That's it.
Yeah,
because that's literally it. We've linked to no DMs. There's like Locatelli, there's Tonali, there's Benacer, there's like there've been all these men out there you can buy. And we're not getting linked to any of them. And none of them cost over flipping 45 mil. It's not like they're flipping 80, 90 mil of players. They're not, bruv. We're not asking for a Fabinho Casemiro. So, I don't know. It must come from the coaching staff. But I would have thought someone like Carrick, is one of the most underrated DMs in history.
Yes,
people are saying that in the comments. Yeah.
He's not going to notice. Why is it Carrick? It's like putting flipping. I don't know. R9 is our striker. Yeah, is our coaching striker, and then we had bad strikers. And him not wanting to get a new striker. Like, bruv, you're not noticing it. I don't know. It's just weird, man. It's just weird.
And to understand that they need a CDM, they would need to understand what they are trying to do. They don't know what they are trying to do. They don't know what they're trying to do. Because the thing is, do you want to play with a 4-2-3-1 and be defensive, hit on the break? Do you want to play with a 4-3-3, have possession?
They don't know. Yeah, they don't know.
They don't know.
As I said, Colin, the last time I came on your show, Saeed, in the fan calling, I said, you want Declan Rice to play at the basis of the midfield to allow Pogba and Bruno to go forward. That just shows that you don't really realize that football is a team sport. One man cannot defend an entire midfield. And the thing is, Varane, Declan Rice, he plays for West Ham. We're a defensive team, so he looks good. Why do you think Thomas Partey is not doing well at Arsenal? Because he played at Atletico Madrid is a defensive team. So defensive-minded players like Thomas Partey, like Declan Rice, when they play for a manager like Diego Simeone or David Moyes, they will look good because the entire system is built on being defensive. If you want to play attacking football, do not go and take the holding the central midfielder of a team that plays defensive football. The logic isn't there. If you try to play attacking football, go and see who plays at the basis of a midfield of an attacking team. And you take a look, for example, Napoli with Maurizio Sarri, they had Jorginho at the basis. That's the sort of player you need. You need someone like Busquets. You need someone like Verratti. You need someone like Locatelli. You need someone like that whose job is not to defend, despite him being the deepest player on the pitch, because you defend in units. You press. 4-3-3 is a possession-based football. What does it mean? It doesn't mean you pass the ball. It means you win the ball back. The first thing you need when you try to play possession football.
I think Liverpool's midfield
is not
Liverpool's midfield.
Sorry?
Liverpool's midfield, prime example of that. The three they have in midfield.
But Liverpool, the thing is different because the 4-3-3 they have is flat. It's not with the holding. So they are at the same level, the three of them, and it's a flat 4-3-3. They don't have a holding. And for example, Luis Enrique, when he was at Barcelona, he did the same thing. And if you take a look at Liverpool's midfield, they don't have 2 8s. You don't have a player like De Bruyne and David
Wijnaldum was, but I don't know what happened. Like Wijnaldum's a very different player. Like Newcastle, he was like Van der Beek almost.
The thing is with Wijnaldum, he's more like a mad dog running. He's a pressing machine. So you have him, you have Henderson or Milner, and then you have Fabinho. They are at the same level, and they don't press, they counter press. That means they win the ball back higher up the pitch. So they don't really need that possession base and that break down the lines because they win the ball so high up the pitch that you can have 2 goal-scoring wingers and a striker like Firmino because that's it.
Yeah, you can. Yeah,
he serves as a number 10, Firmino. That's it. That system. So. The 4-3-3 that Jurgen Klopp plays is very, very different from the 4-3-3 that Pep and Maurizio Sarri plays and Piso Vos plays at Liverpool and whoever. It's just very, very different. And we see it because we understand tactic and we care about that. But people say bring in Fabinho and play like Klopp. It's not as simple, is it?
No, man, it's not as simple as that. You know, the fundamentals come down from the coaching. And a lot of people just, there's a guy comment here, Patty goes, in my opinion, the squad is ready. We just need a new manager. I think a lot of it comes down to the fact that, how much is Ollie juicing out of this squad, And I think it's not at the fraction that as we Man United believe it can be. Still a lot of players on the bench who aren't getting game time. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with Donny van der Beek. Diallo apparently is going out alone. Telles apparently is going out alone to Roma. So then are we going to get a squad of on the bench, and we're going to get Brandon Williams back in there. And then when you do play, and then when Shaw, it might come back as an injury. And when Brandon comes in, the balance of the team is just all again just gone. You know what I mean? So it's a tricky one, and I just believe for me, And someone said to me, "How do you reckon Camavinga won't get in this team?" It's because the coaching staff won't believe he's good enough, and he can't adapt to what they believe he can. They don't see technical football first. They see, right, can you cover the hard yards? Are you able to press? Are you able to do all these stuff first before you can go in there? And that's my worry. It's not about if Camavinga's good enough. It's if I think the coaches deem he's good enough. I thought Donny van der Beek was going to go straight into that team. Straight in there. But he never did. Even when we was at our worst, guys, he was never in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, really. It was ridiculous. I don't know what Donny van der Beek had to do, really, to get into that squad. But the thing is, when the squad is ready, I'll use this example. West Ham, if you look on paper, is their team that good? I mean, I'm talking the one that had Lingard in it. It's good. It's not world-beating. But the thing is, you look at West Ham, every player in that team knows their job. Lingard is a perfect 10 for how they play. He runs into space. They sit back a lot of the time, so he'll run into space. He's good at collecting the ball. He's tidy. When he gets the ball, he rarely loses it. He's not a 10 that flings the ball everywhere. Rice and Souček, extremely complementary pivot. Antonio holds the ball up brilliantly. They're wingers, traditional wingers. They will shoot, they will score, but they'll always make the pass first. Fullbacks that bomb up, and like Kufal, he always gets assists. That team, on paper, isn't better than our team, but it works better as a unit. If you look at our back four, even with De Gea can't play out. He brought in Henderson because De Gea can't play out the back. But then he also brought Wan-Bissaka. Wan-Bissaka can't play out the back. You don't want to play Bailly, and you play Lindelof, but you want to play out the back. That doesn't make any sense. Sure, now has come in, but you play McFred and you want to play out the back. Playing out the back is also partly to do with first phase play. You can't play out the back with McFred. So it's like stuff like this. It doesn't make sense. If you're going to have 2 DMs, you also need to have a 10 that's very good at linking play. Bruno is not a good 10 at linking play. Bruno's many things, but at link play, he's not. So it's loads of things. They don't make any sense. If you look at it and you saw it as a plan, it doesn't make any sense. Nothing goes together well. So it's all good and well saying, we have this, we have that, but do we have the basics? There's a thing called a spine for a reason. Centre-back, striker, flipping, what I'm saying, goalkeeper. That's there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Trying to play out the back with Wan-Bissaka, it's not going to happen, G. But you spent 50 mil on him.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen.
I don't know.
Spot on, Aiden. And the thing is, he wants to build from the back, and he spends 55 million on Wan-Bissaka, which is outrageous. Let's face it. I don't believe Wan-Bissaka is even a footballer. I like him. He's not our biggest problem. But then again, and the thing is, before last season, he was playing the back five quite a lot, back three, in difficult games or whatever, because he believed that playing five is more defensive. I just don't know how you understand that. But the thing is, he plays a back three and he plays Wan-Bissaka at right wing back, exposing every single one of his weaknesses and none of his strength. And Wan-Bissaka is not my favorite footballer, but come on, he can play. He's not the biggest problem we have. But if you put him in that right wing back position, what is Wan-Bissaka's biggest liability? Is his biggest problem as a footballer? It's not, people say he's going forward. It's not even going forward. Is the triggering of the cross and the ball. He's very, very clumsy in his motion, because the thing is, he will put up a cross in, and quite often it's quite an all right cross if you take a look at it.
It's good.
It's quite an all right ball he puts in. But the thing is, the triggering of the cross is what is problematic. And that's
a robot. It starts doing that,
exactly. This is how you set from one who's not that good of a footballer. And
that's true.
The difference with Wan-Bissaka, if I look at Wan-Bissaka, the difference between someone like Wan-Bissaka and someone like Trent is, and I'm not saying that Wan-Bissaka, of course, Trent has a much better cross, but I do think Wan-Bissaka has a good cross. There's a difference between, that kid in school that was going A, they did everything by the book, they did it perfectly, they got an A all the time, but their answers were never original, they never came up with anything new. That's how I look at Wan-Bissaka. He's good, he does everything well, he's like an A-star right back, but he's not an honest student. The honest student takes the book, rips it up, and changes it into something completely new. He takes that, says, okay, whatever, but I'm going to do my own thing. That's what I see as Trent. There's a difference between players like Wan-Bissaka, which are an A student, which do everything by the book, which do it right, correct, but they won't I won't go, wow, I never look at Wan-Bissaka and go, wow. When I watch Trent, I think, wow, he's and they're the players we need. The players we need aren't the players that just do the job, do it by the book and do it well. I want to say, wow, when I watch my team. I want to go, I've never seen that in my life. And that's what I see with Wan-Bissaka. He just looks good. He's good. He's not Trent. He's not revolutionary.
But is it to win a title? Is it to win a title? I'm not sure.
Yeah, and that's the point.
Problem.
And that comes back to what Said says. This is Manchester United Football Club. We should not have to do with someone he does the job. It's just like he said. He's all right. He's all right. But we expect better. We want more. We want to be surprised. We want our left or right.
Defensively, it's unbelievable. Defensively, you can't knock him. But the problem
even
is
positionally, he's suspect, bro.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Yeah. I think, and I put down to that is that, again, it gets masked by the lack of coaching ability that we've got. So everything becomes 10 times worse. If we had a coaching perspective in terms of our coaches were good, maybe that McFred positioning, they would work better. Maybe the fact that Wan-Bissaka would work better. Maybe the fact that certain other things like Bruno Fernandes just going astray and not really coming back to help the midfield out, and it's positionally sometimes he's not the best. And certain positions he don't pick up. Maybe all these things would work better. But because we have an incompetent coaching staff, everything gets magnified.
Absolutely.
By about 1,000%. And that's the problem with Man United. If we had a competent coach, this would not happen.
Of course not. And the thing is, we have a problem with the coaching staff when an entire fan base of hundreds of millions of people across the world, they cannot agree on a single player. The entire fan base is divided on Fred, on Pogba, on Martial, on Rashford, on Bruno.
Yeah.
We agree on those.
That's so true. There's not one player that everyone agrees with. Is there one player?
It's not one player.
Because that's what I think. If you think of every team, think of De Bruyne, everyone rates De Bruyne. Everyone rates Kane. Everyone rates Mane. But there's not one player that I can say everyone agrees that they rate at Man United.
They rate Henderson quite a lot, and I don't rate him. They made it. They believe he's better than he is. And the thing is,
it's with Chelsea fans though. Chelsea, man. I've got a family. I've got a family full of City fans. They all support City, right? And I'm telling you right now, when I say to them, yo, man, he's always playing rubbish, man. This guy, why you not take him off? They always say to me, nah, don't worry, man. He's a good player. We believe in him. You know what I mean? They never ever go.
I think you're muted, mate.
Yeah, that's the sign of a club that's coached. Has a system around them, and they all believe in each other. Cavani, maybe Cavani, because I feel like he's getting towards the end of his career. He's come in and he's embraced it. You know what I mean? And I kind of feel like I've loved him. You know what I mean? But again, there are people that might not. It's not a distinctive person that everyone likes. Maybe Greenwood, Shaw. I don't know. Maybe
Greenwood, Shaw, maybe because they are good footballers and everybody loves them. But for example, the thing is, look at Chelsea. When they had Frank Lampard in charge, they could not agree on Jorginho. Some of them said he doesn't run, he's not attacking, he's not defensive. What does Jorginho do? They couldn't agree on what is his name? Timo Werner and the other one they bought from Leverkusen. Havertz. They couldn't agree on Havertz. They couldn't agree on
like Rudiger and stuff. Rudiger, Christensen.
Christensen. They couldn't agree on those players. Now they got Thomas Tuchel. They all appreciate what Werner does off the ball, his movement, the way he creates space. They all appreciate how good and intelligent of a footballer Jorginho is. They all appreciate that. And we have a coaching staff that doesn't allow us to assess our squad. So we can chat all day about a centre back. We can chat all day about a CDM, but we don't even know the worth of the players we have now. And we have quite a good squad. We have quite a good squad. Not perfect.
And it's a big squad. It's a big squad. And Rashford won't be part of that for at least till end of October. First of all, finally he's chosen to him and his team have assessed it and thought, you know what, best time to do surgery. Why this football club have not told him to do that is beyond me. Again, you know what I mean? It's crazy. I personally think should he have gone to the Euros then? Because again, in the Euros, he didn't play most of the games. Did Gareth Southgate know that he wasn't 100%? Maybe, I don't know. That's what I'm presuming by it, because he didn't hardly get any minutes. Every time he came on, it was towards the end. So I'm just happy he's got that moment. But then again, now you would assume that Sancho is going to be on the left now. You would assume, and then on the right, you would assume it would be Greenwood, or does Martial go in there? Where does Martial play now? Is he on the left, Sancho on the right?
He'll play
what
left
do you
wing.
do then?
I think he'll play left wing, bro. I think he'll play left wing, in my opinion. I think Martial will go to left wing, and I think Ole has played him left wing about 2 or 3 times last season. I didn't think he would put him there, but I do think he'll play him there. But with the Martial, with the Rashford thing, I am gutted that he's out. But bruv, I'm like, if Rashford was to say I need to go out for the entire season, but it means he can play until he's 32, 34, I don't care. Take the season out if you need, bro. Like, honestly, I know it sounds ridiculous, but we need him until he's 33, 34. If he comes back here and he injures himself, let's say we say 4 months, yeah? He comes back 4 months earlier and he injures himself. What if he injures himself for the rest of his career? He's done. All because you wanted an extra 4 or 5 months out of him. I just want him to heal, bro. You know, I have my issues with Rashford, but I think by the time he's 26 odd, I think he's going to fizzle out with a lot of those issues. I think he's going to become a very, very, very refined player. And I'm just happy that right now he is going to prioritize himself, because I'm sorry, if you don't look after these injuries, they'll bite back. Like, they don't go away. You need, like, even like I broke my wrist and I go to gym quite a lot, and I had to make sure.
And shoulder.
He's got ankle and shoulder. Gee, these things come back. I had to make sure. I didn't go back to heavy lifting for about 9 months after I broke my wrist. You have to take times off because he can be a footballer for 10 years, bro. You have to take time off. So I just hope that he's going to be okay and he's going to take time off. But it's a good opportunity for Martial, because left wing Martial,
I think it's cold. I think he's cold.
I like left wing Martial, but I'm telling you, this guy.
But you don't think that the scrutiny is going to be even more? Do you not feel like the scrutiny is going to be even more now? You know what the fans are like, man? I go Old Trafford a lot, man. And I tell you what, Martial gets the most criticism out of everyone, mate. I tell you, there's a guy who's next to me, just above me, and he slates Martial every single game. Come on, get running, get in the box.
That's quite ironic. That's ironic, because if you take a look at Rashford for the past 18 months, he's the one who's not tracking back. He's the one who's not running, and he's not.
Yeah, man. But again,
so that's,
I think Martial's, he's probably thinking, you know what, I probably needed Rashford to stay fit, so then at least that, if we're going to get scrutiny, we'd both get it the same, or if not greater. So now I want him to. For me, I believe in Martial, but I think this is a season now where, come on now, let's prove all these people who think that he's not good enough. For me, I think he's a quality player, and I think we've not got the best out of him. There's certain times where I thought he could have been up front, especially that season when Zlatan came. Zlatan came in, and I was gassed by Zlatan. But was Zlatan a person that you could have brought on here and there to help him out and be under the wings? I think so. Again, that was not for me. People don't understand confidence. Confidence is a massive thing in players.
Yes,
and I think that season when he got the number 9 off him, a lot of people say, well, he's soaked and all that. But again, it's a big thing, man. You had that number 9 position. You have to prove yourself. And I think Martial's been in a constant thing of proving himself. And I just hope this season he can show everyone why he's a quality player. I love him, man. Listen, I remember him scoring an unbelievable goal. You know what I mean? And so many times at Old Trafford. Every time, elegant goal, man. I remember the goal when Wayne Rooney passed it him, edge of the box, and he curled it around the keeper. Unbelievable, man.
And the thing is with Martial is he's a footballer that loves to play with footballers. And if you play Martial with Pogba, with Sancho, with Cavani, with Bruno, good players, they play well together. That's the thing. And for example, if we're going to have Cavani up front, well, you need Rashford, you need Martial on the left and not Rashford, because every time people seem to forget Cavani didn't start the season so well playing.
No,
people
didn't.
People were saying Rashford, Cavani, and Greenwood is our best front three, but it isn't. It isn't. And he started scoring goals when Pogba moves to the left. And the thing is with Greenwood, yes, he's a goal scorer, but he's still so young, and Cavani has that sort of influence. He will tell him, look for me, pass. He will teach him. So Greenwood will his play to Cavani because he's looking up to someone. And in that scenario, with players playing for the striker, you have Cavani scoring goals. If you want to have Rashford scoring goals and Greenwood scoring goals, you cannot have Cavani. You need Martial there. You cannot have a goal-scoring number 10, a goal-scoring right winger, a goal-scoring left winger, and a goal-scoring number 9. Something has to give in. Otherwise, smashing every team by 5 goals, and that just doesn't happen, does it?
No.
Exactly, man. Exactly. So
Martial is just not this. He's just not appreciated. He's just not respected for a reason other than football. Just because he doesn't smile, maybe I don't really care about smiling.
Man. And the media in it, the media agenda of. I think there was a guy, Tony Custis, I think, on the media today on Talk Sport this week was about, again, he doesn't smile and all that. Again, man,
it's so boring, man.
It's boring, man. I don't care if he smiles or not. You know,
do you know what it is like? It's actually
don't
like, it's like
care.
I've heard the same thing over and over again. It's like these guys have a soundboard. It's like they've got a soundboard of like 6 sounds. They're like, oh, what am I going to do today? Let me touch that. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Martial's lazy. Martial's
Yeah.
disinterested. He just doesn't like it. And it's
man.
like, yeah, it's just ridiculous. He gets all these sofa fans to agree with him. Like,
I've never
I
liked
think
this Neil Custard anyway. Neil Custard, that's a good word, you know. Neil Custard. I'm telling you. Neil Custard, I'm telling you, man.
Trying to move forward as a club, and people want to get rid of one of our top 3 best players, in my opinion. Maybe people won't agree. But then again, we're trying to move forward. As if you're bringing Jadon Sancho and then you get rid of Martial, but that's still that. I mean, we didn't improve.
Exactly.
People will realize quite soon enough that Sancho is better on the left than he is.
I know,
probably, and he's better than
again.
Like even deep this. You know Martial, yeah. You know Martial. Let me I'll tell you this, yeah. So this is statistics, yeah. Harry Kane. So consider Martial played 3,566 minutes in 1920, got 23 goals and 12 assists, and Rashford took 7 penalties. So he could have had 30 goals. Kane in 1920 got 24 goals with 4 penalties and 2 assists. Benzema in 1920 got 27 goals, 5 pens, 11 assists in and all were similar amount of minutes. So Martial that season, he really should have won Golden Boot and been up there with Lukaku, Benzema, Harry Kane, all them, man.
Absolutely.
And this is what I don't get. People within a season, yeah, they're like, oh yeah, Shaw's the best left back in the world. But then within the season, they're like, Martial's dead. Are you really going to change your tune within the season?
Again,
absolutely.
Again,
like,
you know,
and the thing is,
me, yeah, go on.
Go ahead, sir.
No, I was just saying about Luke Shaw. You know what I mean? A lot of people, you know, I think a lot of people are jumping on the bandwagon now of Luke Shaw. But for me, you know, I've never been impressed with him for so many years at our club, and I'm going to give it credit this season. But again, a lot of people have not done the same with Martial, and for me, it's one of them things for me. I don't know what it's down to, but hey ho. But sorry, go on there. Just before we wrap up, get your closing words, bro.
I was going to. No, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
No worries, man. Hopefully, we'll get out maybe next time. But guys, yeah, man, guys, it's been a pleasure, man. I hope you've enjoyed the new show. Every Wednesdays, we're going to give you a show. This is going to be normally a tactical show, but because there's no football, and thank God there's no football, because in the day, I don't think I'm ready for it. Yeah. You know what I mean? I think there's pre-season starts on Sunday, I believe. So hopefully, we'll see what the team's like. Hopefully, we'll analyze a few performances on the next Wednesday show. But yeah, my new show every Wednesday with these guys every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Shout out your socials. I'll put it on the link in the description. But just give a shout out, starting with you, Adam. Let the people know where they can find you. Yeah, on Twitter, Adam Manred, just like seen on the screen. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much, Saeed, for having me, man. See you next time. Yeah, man. 100%, man. 100%. And United Aiden as well on Twitter, is it? You know what I mean? Big up to you, bro. Yeah, United Aiden with 2 N's if you want to see my Twitter. And yeah, give me a shout, DM me, whatever you want to do. Give me a follow. Yeah, man. Anything. 100%, people. But thanks for the love, people. Smash the like button if you haven't done. On your way out, you know what I mean? And we'll see you next Wednesday for another show. But yeah, man, enjoy the love and enjoy the rest of your day, people. So take care. Bye-bye and peace.